Alright, so as I was scrolling through YouTube this morning, I woke up and I ran into this video. It says Elon Musk fraud gamer situation is pathetic. And this is with penguins. If you follow penguins. So we're gonna react to it. I don't know what's going on too much, but it's about Elon Musk's gaming situation, and I guess he always says something about how he's really good at every game he plays, but we'll see what Penguins has to say about that.
To wait a little bit longer before fully diving in on this, but I've talked about it on stream, tickling the subject here and there, with Elon Musk's weirdest lie so far about being a Path of Exile 2 top player. For as long as I can remember, Elon has always touted himself as basically a gaming god, where anytime he picks up the sticks, he becomes one of the best to ever do it. And he's been trying that with Path of Exile 2, puffing out his chest, popping his collar, letting people know that he has one of the top characters in the game. Which he does, except it's very clear from the live stream he did, it's not actually his character. He has one or a team of people that actually pilot this character, and they just give him permission to go on the account to flex it. It's not a hurricane machine
What?
conspiracy theory, it is beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Hold on, bro. Can I have this for Fortnite? Can somebody run my account for Fortnite, bro?
True that Elon Musk does not play this game. His account that he showed is definitely not played by him. And it's very clear through the live stream, which we'll go through in a moment, because Quinn made a great video breaking it all down to show just how obvious it is.
So let's start off with some context. Elon Musk's character is currently level 97, aka rank 12 on hardcore, that's permanent death mode. Currently, what is their
Hardcore?
highest ranked player?
Whoa.
They're level 97, same as Elon Musk. So, I mean, he's effectively has been playing, pretty much just doing
Making
nothing
him
except
good
playing
for
Path of
yeah,
Exile.
he's
So let's just go over some of the things that happened.
The reason I wanted to wait a little longer before diving into the spaghetti and meatballs of this is because I wanted to see Elon's response to it, because I know he's seen it. He is more addicted to social media than an Overwatch gooner. He is glued to this shit 24/7, so I am confident he is well aware that the entire gaming community is privy to his fraudulent claims of being one of the top Path of Exile players.
Bro.
And I just wanted to see how he would tackle.
You know, I got a friend who always boasts about how he is the best gamer. He just loves Elon so much. Wait till I tell him this, that he has people running his accounts. Is that what we're hearing here? People like listen up, bro. He has people running his accounts. What? I wish we could do that, right?
That, because his responses are always glorious. It's always the most cringe shit imaginable, where he posts like an AI photo of himself as Iron Man. I am Irony Man. You call yourself the Joker, yet you can't take a joke. Ironic. And I wanted to see him do some garbage like that for this, but he hasn't yet, and I just really want to talk about it because it is so clownish.
And he opens up his bank and he goes to a tab called Elon's Maps, which immediately is a little bit of a red flag because I don't know why you would refer to yourself in third person, but okay, he does that. He then proceeds to walk up to his map device
Eons.
and
Oh,
go to
that's
put a
funny.
map in. The literal first thing you learn upon getting to the end game is how to operate this map device. You're going to start off at a node, and then from that node, you can go to adjacent connected maps. Now, Elon, he's trying to click.
Oh, he's trying to do the map that's not in the chain.
He's just clicking a map repeatedly, trying to access it. He was not eligible to enter that map.
I just want you guys to understand, this is one of the highest level hardcore characters in the game. He would have played thousands of maps at this point.
I don't know how many of you have ever subjected yourself to the torture of trying to watch an Elon Musk stream, but they are
Bro didn't know how to navigate to his map. Through his map. Is this what?
agonizing when he tries to stream a game, because it's like 30 minutes of actual nothing burgers where he will sit there AFK and all you get is just background noise. The banging of pans sounds like shit falling over. It's like listening to Legos exploding, and then he'll like occasionally talk and he's still doing nothing, and then maybe he'll do like briefly one map. Watching Snoop Dogg stream when he left and just left it running for like a day was more entertaining than trying to sit through an Elon Musk Twitter stream. They're fucking brutal. So Quinn going through this cut out a lot of
I don't
that.
think I've seen
And when he's actually trying to play the game, he doesn't know what he's doing. So what he's showing here is he has that tab called Elon's Maps, which is a weird thing to do, but he's a quirky guy. Maybe he refers to himself in the third person. You could maybe try and conjure up some kind of argument there because he is just so peculiar as an individual that he would do that. But the big smoking gun in this intro is that he doesn't even know how to use the in-game map. He doesn't know what he's doing. Like, I'm not even to that point in the game, yet looking at that map, I can tell you what is and is not accessible just through the basic understanding of how games work. He is clicking on a grayed out node. He is repeatedly clicking on it, expecting something different to happen. It's fucking grayed out, goofball. You clearly can't.
He said it's grayed out, goofball. I mean, if you play games, you understand that if a certain option is grayed out, you haven't gotten there, you haven't unlocked it, or you're just not there yet, bud. You got other steps to take before you can get to there. But I mean, dude, I really like Elon. I really didn't know he was, faking his game stats, I guess. Is that what we call it?
Can't go there yet. But he doesn't understand it.
Anyone who's level 97 is, and we're talking one of the most efficient players in the game, period. There is no way you would do that. Why just like sitting there like some sort of geriatric old man clicking this node, expecting something to happen, and then he finally kind of gives up after a while, and then realizes his mistake. We then get a look at his inventory. So Elon Musk is stuck going into the map and with full bags. If you're an efficient player, you're going to clear a map, you're going to loot the valuable items.
And you're going to sell the trash, keep the good stuff, salvage the bad stuff. Everyone knows that. It's not just being an efficient player, it's just being a player in general. Elon Musk goes into it with a full inventory. You don't have to be a Path of Exile player to know that that's pretty stupid. If you're playing a game that revolves around getting loot, why would you go in?
Obviously, like, if you want to get new loot when you get into a new game, you want to make sure your bag's as empty as possible and only take essentials into the game so you can battle or whatever, right? I mean, that's just gamer knowledge. I don't know.
With no ability of collecting loot. It doesn't make sense. Unless, of course, you're Elon, who doesn't actually play the game and can't wrap his head around that concept that, having a full inventory kind of defeats the whole purpose. You'd want to get rid of your trash. Or if all of that is just treasure, just absolute beautiful loot you don't want to part with, you'd put it in your stash. You wouldn't take it into the map with you because you need the space in your inventory. That is like actual basics. And he's already failing on the most fundamental aspects of playing not only this game, but any games even similar to it. It's actually a rookie mistake that I myself was making when I was first starting this game, where I was just taking unnecessary shit with me. I didn't realize just how quick and easy it was to just go store it or sell it. You can just click a single button, it'll make a portal to the town, and you can just sell it and then go right back through that portal to where you were. You don't lose any time or anything. It's not a hassle or a chore. And it's something that once you start playing the game, you become privy to. But Elon Musk doesn't really play this game, it seems. Yet, somehow has one of the top accounts in the whole fucking hardcore space. How odd.
So what I'm doing here is just boosting my shield before battle by meditation. Meditation before battle is always good.
And he starts killing monsters. He starts obliterating monsters with his character. But what becomes obviously apparent...
Chaos Orb, no loot filter.
Filters, like, no, he's just running past Chaos Orbs! He just ran past the Chaos Orb!
Chaos Orbs are one of the most important currencies, and they're also really rare. I have about 140 Exalts. I have like 9 Chaos Orbs. Just so you guys understand.
This fucking goober doesn't even have the wherewithal to loot one of the most valuable currencies in the game with a Chaos Orb. So I'm 30 hours deep. I've seen one. I've seen one in 30 hours. And he just runs right by it. He doesn't know the game at all. The only thing he loots are completely meaningless waystones. They're not fully meaningless, but for where he's at in the game, it's not what you'd be prioritizing for loot. But the reason he's clicking the waystones is because those are what's highlighted. Meanwhile, Chaos Orb wasn't highlighted, so in Elon Musk's little, like, caveman brain, not shiny, not need. So he just ignores it. He doesn't know the
Dang,
game.
That's crazy.
It's
bro.
unfathomable for someone to be in the top ranks without loot
Yeah,
filter.
bro. What if you,
Yet,
what if he was just having a bad day and we're all just like judging him? You know what I mean? Like maybe he was just having a bad day and he didn't really care. I mean, he is a millionaire, whatnot, billionaire, but we don't know, right? Like this guy's face, we don't know.
Elon Musk, the god gamer, he doesn't play with a loot filter. The only thing Elon does pick up are maps, because the default in-game loot filter highlights those. Those things are worthless. The actual items of value that he should be picking up, that he would have had to pick up in order to get the gear, leave it on the ground. He gets to the boss, he's fighting the boss, and I want to say for about 10 seconds, he sits there and he's out of mana. Mana is a resource in this game where you need it in order to use your abilities. He just sits there, default attacking the boss without activating his mana flask. Anyone who's played the game and understands the character would understand, like, oh, I'm not doing any damage because I'm out of mana.
There's no explanation for him being bad at this character at this level. If he was the one that has been piloting it this whole journey, he would have mastered it. And what Quinn is pointing out is that he clearly hasn't. You can tell from his gameplay. When he's fighting this boss here, he is out of mana for an inexcusably long period of time. In Path of Exile 2, if you go out of mana, if you play League of Legends, you can immediately pop a mana flask and get it back to continue optimizing your DPS. He doesn't do that. His character is juiced out the wazoo, so he's able to get away with being so dog shit. But the fact that he doesn't pop his mana flask for like 10 seconds is crazy to me. And anybody who plays the game. It's not him being some kind of chess master galaxy braining this where he's being frugal with his mana. Well, actually, I made a calculation that it would be suboptimal if I had popped one of my fucking 20 mana flasks at this moment, because you wouldn't understand. I'm one of the top players in the game. I'm thinking, well, 5 steps ahead of you. It's just him just being bad. It's him being bad at this character, because it's not really his character. Whoever is piloting this account behind the scenes and boosting it lets Elon go on and do these really easy maps where even when he's super shit, he can get away with being bad and not be punished for it.
He then goes on to loot items off the ground. He starts dragging them into his bag. Like, I don't even know how to describe to you how painful that is to anyone who actually plays the game. And his bags are full, and he just keeps clicking it over and over and over again. Nobody, not even people who are kind of noobs at the game, do this. I don't even think Elon Musk has done the campaign, honestly.
I also don't think he's finished the campaign, and I'm going to go a step further. I don't think he has ever really played an ARPG to a high level at all, including Diablo. Nobody, I mean actually nobody, is going to drag their loot into their bag once they spend any amount of hours in Path of Exile or Diablo or anything. No one's going to be doing that. That is a mistake that only your grandpappy would make if you sat him down to play this game, where you just slowly drag in the loot. Nobody fucking does that. So I really question the authenticity of his claims of being one of the top Diablo players through his own sheer blood, sweat, tears, and elbow grease and cum. I think something similar has been happening for him on Diablo, where he has people behind the scenes playing the game for him, and then he just goes on occasionally to do a couple maps to flex on Twitter streams.
You're also an innovator there.
Yeah, I played a lot of video games.
You think about like StarCraft, any game where a lot of people are playing. To rise to the top, you have to be exceptional, period, as a human being.
Yeah.
There has to be something exceptional about you.
Yeah.
Are you in the top 20 in the world, or top 20 wow, in Diablo?
Yeah.
A ton of people are calling this into question now after watching the Path of Exile stream, because those are transferable skills. If you're really good at Diablo, you should at least be pretty good at Path of Exile. And he's just not. And he lacks the basic understanding of ARPG fundamentals. So how the fuck could he be one of the
Elon got
top
caught
Diablo
4K,
players
Elon is getting caught 4K right now, guys.
and be this clueless for Path of Exile? It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't compute.
His settings on the map transparency are turned on by default. His life values are turned on. All these basic settings that anyone in the top 100 would do, he is not doing. Maps can effectively have different content on them, and that content will be signified by icons on the map. So it could be a map which has an expedition in it, a breach in it, or it could be corrupted. Elon starts looking through the atlas, and he finds a map with, I kid you not, 4 things on it.
There are 4 things there. So this one has a real risk of dying.
4 things. What are those things?
God, dude. Four things. It's 4 things, dude.
You can't just write this off as him being lazy and trying to put it in layman's terms, because this stream of him flexing his Path of Exile 2 achievements isn't made for, you know, your uncle or something who's a big Elon meat swallower. This is like specifically catered to gamers. So it makes no sense that he would just write that off as just 4 things. And also, his settings make no sense for someone in the top 100. No loot filter and all of the basics still on. That's how I play. And I am nowhere near a top player in Path of Exile 2 at all. It doesn't work. That excuse of him just being lazy, it doesn't work. He could not achieve what he has in Path of Exile 2 with these settings and the way he approaches the game. It's clearly just not him that has got the character to this point. He doesn't know what those 4 things are, which is why he calls it that.
He then goes on to say,
So this is max difficulty on hardcore. If there's a way to get higher difficulty, I don't know what it is, but this is everything maxed out.
Path of Exile has boss fights and endgame bosses, which are quote-unquote difficult battles, which Elon actually did do in one of his streams, where he just went into the endgame boss and died repeatedly to it. Maps are just farming. You go into maps and you farm them for loot and experience. They're not the most difficult battles, and I don't know if he's trying to deceive people watching a stream into thinking that he's doing some insanely hard thing, whenever he's literally doing something you do to effectively grind or farm.
Listening to Elon talk about Path of Exile 2 is like listening to the out-of-touch writers in CSI, where they'd have things like, you have all the top scorers in every MMORPG ever. I am elite noob slayer. Like, when they try and relate to gamers, that's Elon with Path of Exile 2. It's such a weird thing to lie about, because this isn't a cool thing to anyone that's not already playing Path of Exile 2, but anyone who plays the game would immediately recognize he's just making shit up and doesn't actually know what he's doing or saying. And it's just classic Elon. This is a max difficulty Turbo XL Super Arcade. In fact, I'm the only one that's unlocked this difficulty setting, and I just wish it was a little bit harder, because for someone of my intellect, it's just a bit beneath me. But yeah, this is maxed out difficulty on hardcore. You can see I'm breezing through it. I wish I could increase the difficulty a little bit just to stimulate myself a bit more, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm just too good for it. Like, the way he talks about this game, while clearly being clueless on it, is actually infuriating. I can't fucking stand it.
And Elon Musk starts going over his gear.
This is a great staff, but it's only a level, 62 staff.
His weapon is, I kid you not, one of the best, if not the best staffs on the entire hardcore trade league. You cannot even buy it. Insane weapon.
Not only does Elon have a staff that you can't even buy, but it's so good that second best one, which is missing 2 of what makes a staff so powerful for an invoker, which is the crit and crit bonus, is still 20 divines, and that's obviously very expensive.
Here I am, like, level 95, but my staff is only level 62.
That is something that you learn pretty early on into the game, that the actual level of gear isn't the most important part about it. That's just the requirement to equip it. Quinn gave an example that one of the strongest, most meta builds at the moment uses a weapon that is level 1 requirement. A level 1. If Elon Musk had that on his stream, he would have probably blown a fucking gasket. He would have had a conniption, thinking that his boosters were doing a bad job. But they're doing such a good job that it has become blatantly obvious that Elon is not the one behind it at all. His weapon is nuts, yet he is fixated on it being level 62, thinking it's beneath him because he's a much higher level. He doesn't grasp the concept that it's not the level that makes the weapon good, it's all of the blue stuff there. You can't reach this point in the game without that basic understanding. You just can't. He's talking like he needs to upgrade his weapon soon. Like, yeah, I need to get myself a better weapon, one that reaches my potential at level 95. But for now, this is getting the job done. I'm able to do all of this with such a low-leveled weapon. It's fucking insanity.
My helmet is level 56.
Int, lightning, and chaos resist. Okay. It's only 56.
Amulet level 61. Ring is only level 48, 49. At least a level 75 jacket.
It's a jacket with 6 things. Yeah, tell us how bad the item that only drops from the highest difficulty of the hardest boss. Just tell us that it's only level 52. Did you find this at level 52? That's impressive.
Level 52 here.
They can only ever be level 52. Bro, Elon Musk is a fucking fraud, bro.
Pretty low level compared to my character level, but it seems to work pretty well. In softcore, you can get much better equipment.
Seems to work pretty well is an understatement. He is a fucking force of nature with this gear. He is beyond juiced. The actual pilots of this account have done an extraordinary job of making an absolute deity with this this gear here. And yet Elon can't recognize that because he's not the one that did it. He only mentions the item's level, the least important part about items in the game. And once again, the excuse of, oh, he's just being lazy and he's trying to put it in layman's terms so people don't understand. People know, like, level 62 versus level 95. Well, no, because that doesn't work because the 62 is extremely good regardless of him being level 95. He could be level 1000 and that level 62 weapon is still going to be fucking unbelievable. Like, he just doesn't understand how the game works. He just doesn't. Like, if he didn't want to go into detail on everything for his gear during the stream, that's fine, but he is actively saying that the gear isn't really good because of its level, which is so false, it's laughable. That's why he is being giggled at by both Crip and Quinn during this, because he is beyond clueless as to what he's even looking at and what he's talking about. And from his gameplay, it seems he doesn't even really know how to play the game itself either. I would wager a guess he's maybe spent a couple of hours actually playing the game, but only, like, clearing maps. I don't think he has ever picked up a piece of fucking gear in his life or worked on a build or anything at all. I don't think he even knows how to use, like, skill gems or support gems or anything. I bet if you asked him to bring up, like, certain things, like explain why this gym is where it is, he would have no clue why. If he brought up his skill tree, he would have no idea what's even on it. And, like, if you asked him about trials, he would hit you with big fucking question marks or just ignore it and move on. He doesn't know the game. And he proved it with this live stream here. But the question needs to be asked, why? Why even lie about this in the first place? Again, this isn't something cool to people who don't play Path of Exile, but anyone who plays.
Yeah, that makes no sense. It's like, this is a billionaire lying about the games he plays and how he got to, like, high level. Like, it is a little weird, but I mean, Elon is kind of an odd dude in the beginning, so.
Path of Exile is going to recognize that you're a fraud. This is not your account. If he was honest about it, saying like, hey, I tried Path of Exile, I really liked it, but I don't have time to grind it, so I paid people to grind it for me, I think people would have a little bit more respect for that, as opposed to him cosplaying as one of the top players, pretending he's the one actually putting in the work and doing it, when he's definitely not.
And if you needed any...
Right, so that's the one thing, is like, if you're honest about certain things, a lot of people will accept the nonsense or just, you know, whatever's going on. You just be honest, bro. Like, be honest. Tell us, like, you know, yo, I'm having somebody else run this for me, or, you know, just be honest, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people will accept whatever you have to say, you know?
More proof that Elon is 100% boosted. He was playing the game today inside of maps, blasting, while simultaneously on a X space.
Yeah, RIP. So Elon's account, Percy, did die, and in hardcore that is permadeath. And I'm not sure if it was Elon that died on it, or if one of the people he paid to boost it made a mistake while grinding. I'm not sure. But I love the idea that it...
Bro, and then this account's now dead, bro. All that work, bro.
Was Elon who bit the dust on it and bought the farm, because the people that actually put the hundreds of hours into getting this account so juiced out the wazoo are probably fucking furious. Like, they set Elon's maps aside, which are very easy maps for him to clear for the sake of flexing on Twitter with this account that they're actually putting the work into, and yet somehow this bumbling buffoon still finds a way to die on this overpowered character, just reverting all of their hard work to zero. It's just a beautiful thought, because they set aside easy maps for him. And maybe he got a little too big for his britches. Maybe what happened is he saw all the people, you know, calling him out for obviously not playing this game. He's like, okay, I'll put on my big boy britches and I'll do some hard content, and immediately just gets fucking washed. Like, just actually rinsed. I'm very excited to learn how exactly this account perished, because this, I feel like he'd probably mention it, you know, like what happened? What went so wrong? But yeah, I wanted to talk about this a bit. It's such a weird, stupid thing to even lie about in the first place, and yet here he is telling blatantly obvious fibs. He's got all the money in the world and all of the insecurity imaginable. He has this desperate, insatiable appetite for unconditional love from everyone, and in this pursuit makes everyone hate him through being just a lying cringelord. Like, this is such an unnecessary lie to even tell. He just wants to be viewed as the smartest person to ever grace this fucking space rock that we live on, and the best at everything he even attempts to do, even when he's just not. He could have actually probably scored a ton of brownie points with gamers by saying, hey, Path of Exile 2 is a really good game, I'm learning it right now, watch me stream the early game content. And people probably would have actually really applauded that, because he's playing it on his own two legs here. He's playing and learning it, and that could have been a really easy way to relate to gamers. Like, hey, this game's great. I'm going to start learning to grind it. I'm not very good right now, but if you want to check out my early game, here's the stream. And I bet it would have been received far better than this dog shit. He is poorly playing an account that has never actually been piloted by him. But it's an account with a lot of prestige because it's so high ranked, and that is like the most appealing thing to Elon. It's just, it's nonsensical. He's so fucking cringe, it's crazy. That's about it. So, yeah.
Yep. So there's the video. But yeah, so I don't know what you guys think. Drop it below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.